Live from the CBS 2 Information Center in New York, this is CBS 2 News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Cindy Hsu.
I'm Michael Pomeranz, and today for Todd McDermott. New York City is facing a huge security job in early September. It includes the Jewish high holidays, which fall on either side of September 11th.
CBS 2's Lou Young was in Lower Manhattan today, where top police brass discussed security with top Jewish leaders.
Rabbis from around the city mingled with top police brass today on the brink of the high holy days in the shadow of 9/11. Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah bracket September 11th on the calendar this year, but the police are stretched thin with several other high-profile security jobs to tackle as well.
They're going to have an NFL kickoff on September 5th. Congress is going to be in town on September 6th. The U.S. Open starts today, runs for 2 weeks.
Yet the threat of a high holy day attack is very real. Concrete barriers along the curb line at Manhattan Central Synagogue reflect that. But in reality, the first line of defense against terrorism doesn't involve a concrete barrier, but rather simple vigilance. This year, synagogues are being asked to get a real handle on everybody that comes through the front door, starting with tightened new ticket procedures for attendance at high holy day services.
Everyone that's issued a ticket now is scrutinized, and questions are asked as to if a person is buying more than one ticket, as to who the other tickets are going to. There's no person that is given a ticket that is not known personally to the person that sells the ticket, which is very important.
We are doing the nitty-gritty that has to be done because we feel very touched by the whole situation.
We are attempting to harden a potential target.
That includes refusing to let visitors leave luggage or packages that haven't been pre-screened. The PD stresses tonight it's received no specific synagogue threats, but if one surfaces, the governor says he's ready to provide additional National Guard troops for the month of September. Lou Young, CBS 2 News.
Time now for a check of traffic. Here's Heather O'Rourke with tonight's Road Watch. How's it looking, Heather?
Cindy, it's not looking too good on the east side of town. We're going to check and see what's going on the FDR Drive. This is in the 90s. Northbound side, moving fine. That's left to right. We had an earlier disabled vehicle. It was cleared away, but southbound, we're all bunched up. That's because in the 70s, just south of here, 2-car accidents sitting in the left lane. We're going to New Jersey now. This is 495. This is the road that leads you from the outbound Lincoln Tunnel, getting out to the New Jersey Turnpike and Route 3, also the inbound side of 495. Now, the traffic that's coming towards us, that's the westbound side of 495 or the outbound side. The ramp to the northbound side of routes 1 and 9 is closed down until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. The road is collapsing. Outbound side of Lincoln Tunnel at this time not being badly affected by this situation, about a 10-minute delay. 9th Avenue, definitely your best approach. Mass transit running on or close to schedule. Cindy, Michael, back to you.
All right, Heather, thank you. Getting around Long Island's about to get a little bit easier. Starting September 1st, the MTA will introduce Sunday service on its N27 line from Roosevelt Island to Glen Cove. Buses will run once an hour from 8 in the morning until 8 at night, and a few of the early morning and late evening buses will be extended to include Hempstead.
Police arrest a man in Harlem after allegedly finding an arsenal in his apartment. Police say they found smoke grenades, rifles, handguns, and bullets inside David White's apartment in Harlem. Police showed up on the scene after White was allegedly walking around the building on 127th Street with a rifle and arguing with several people. He's been charged with reckless endangerment, and other charges may follow.
Police in Brooklyn are looking for the man who stabbed 3 people at a subway station, leaving 1 dead. The 3 men were attacked as they were getting out of a southbound A train at the Broadway Junction station early yesterday morning, and police say they were involved in some type of argument with another passenger. The man stabbed all 3, then ran off, and the 2 victims who survived are in serious condition.
Fears of West Nile virus are very real on Long Island tonight after the death of an elderly man from Melville. There are also 3 other suspected cases on the island and a 4th in Queens. CBS 2 Health Watch reporter Paul Moniz joins us live from West Bayshore with more on what steps health officials are taking. Paul?
Well, Cindy, it's a busy afternoon here at Gardner County Park. You can see the scene behind me, this helicopter, which will carry an insecticide through 12,000 acres of Suffolk County, just landed. Crews are getting ready to load that insecticide on. The aerial assault follows the death of a Melville man who is suspected of having West Nile and the infections of 2 others on Long Island. Linda Hassiker cut short her family's visit to Gardner County Park today after word the park would close due to aerial spraying to prevent the West Nile virus.
I would prefer they sprayed because 1 bite and then you don't have your kids anymore. It's scary.
Beginning at 7 p.m., residents in the Babylons, West Bayshore, and several other communities will see a familiar sight in the sky. A helicopter dumping the pesticide resmetirin to kill adult mosquitoes that carry West Nile and collect around trees and stagnant water. The spraying, similar to what's been done since the 1999 outbreak, follows an abnormally high percentage of infected mosquitoes and birds on Long Island, and the death last week of an 81-year-old Melville man who had a rash and flu-like symptoms.
We have West Nile virus presence in his blood. It was identified in the blood specimen. That suggests a possible West Nile virus case at this time. We will not have confirmatory testing done for another few days.
In addition to the death of the Melville man, a 77-year-old Babylon woman remains hospitalized with what's believed to be West Nile. She's no longer in a coma and improving. A third suspected case involves a 55-year-old East Setauket man now out of the hospital and recovering. And an 84-year-old Rosedale, Queens man remains hospitalized in stable condition after developing encephalitis caused by West Nile. Nationwide, more than 370 West Nile cases have been confirmed in humans. 16 people have died. 2 other deaths yet to be confirmed could bring the total to 18. In West Bayshore, 77-year-old Herbert Westcott welcomes the spraying. Because he's over 50, he's at increased risk.
Well, you have to be careful. I mean, it's a serious thing. Huh?
But some believe the delay in spraying has jeopardized lives.
Seems like they're doing it a little late. Should have been done earlier in the year.
Because the chemical resmetirin can cause throat and eye irritation in a small number of people, health officials advise concerned citizens to stay indoors during the 7 to 11 p.m. spraying. They should shut off air conditioners and keep windows closed. Back here live, you can see crews testing out the helicopter to make sure things are okay. They stress that resmetirin or scourge is safe overall and say the risk of not using it is significant because keep in mind there is no cure for West Nile. The county says the reason why aerial spraying has not occurred sooner is because only recently have large numbers of infected birds and mosquitoes turned up, and there could actually be a second round of spraying within the next 3 to 4 days, depending on the results of mosquito counts taken after this initial spraying. Of course, we will keep you posted. Reporting live, I'm Paul Moniz. Back to you.
Paul, thank you. Mosquito spraying is scheduled for several parts of our area tonight. As Paul mentioned, on Long Island, aerial spraying begins tonight at 7 until 11 o'clock in Babylon, West Babylon, North Babylon, West Islip, and where Paul Moniz was, West Bayshore. In Queens, Brookville and Rosedale will be sprayed tonight at 8:30, and then tomorrow, Melville, South Huntington, Huntington Manor, and Huntington Station will be sprayed starting at 7. For a complete rundown of the spraying schedule, you can call the CBS 2 Info Center at 866-INFO-2. The number is toll-free, and again, it's 866-INFO-TWO.
New York City launches one of the biggest autism studies ever, one that could find a treatment.
Plus, 2 weeks after a serious race car accident, a step in the positive direction for actor Jason Priestley.
And I'm meteorologist Janine Diadamo. No doubt you've noticed not a whole lot of sunshine today. There's a good reason for that. I'll be back with all the details in your CBS 2 weather forecast. Stay with us.
Hard-hitting stories you won't see anywhere else. CBS 2 investigates, uncovering corruption, exposing rip-offs. Count on CBS 2 News.
The largest clinical trial on autism is underway here in the New York area. It's evaluating whether a controversial drug is beneficial. CBS 2 Health Watch reporter Dr. Mike Rosen is here with the details and how you can enroll your child.
Well, Cindy, it's frustrating because there are no good treatments right now. This study, though, is looking at the drug secretin. It's used for digestive problems involving the pancreas and the gallbladder. Oddly, though, secretin might have a benefit in improving the behavior and language of autistic children.
It was almost like somebody robbed him of his personality and locked it away somewhere. Haven't found it yet.
The children look completely normal, but autism is a tragic neurologic disorder associated with the inability of the child to develop normal social and language skills. It typically appears during the first 3 years of life and affects the child's ability to relate to the outside world.
My most startling and worst day of recognition was when he burned his hands on the stove and never cried. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with the picture.
Common symptoms include repeated body movements like rocking, resistance to changing routines, marked sensitivity to any outside stimuli like a sound or a light. Half of all autistic children may never learn to speak or lose their vocabulary. And currently, there are no medical treatments approved for the condition. However, the largest study ever on autism is underway here on Long Island at Schneider Children's Hospital. It's investigating whether the drug secretin is a potential treatment for autism. Secretin is a hormone that we produce naturally to cause the release of digestive enzymes. But when given to autistic children, it was found to improve their behavior. They had better eye contact, alertness, and expressive language.
Kids literally with no language, no words, and they had a huge vocabulary in a very short period of time.
While previous studies have not shown it to work, it's now believed it will if the child is not too old.
Right now, we're banking on it that it will be the younger children. So this will be the first true treatment for the disorder if things work out.
Researchers will recruit 300 young children across the country, ages 2.5 to 5, who will receive 6 doses of secretin or a placebo over a 20-week period. They're hoping for 24 here in the New York area. LIJ is the only place here in the area that's doing the study. Michael.
Mike, thanks. Just how many people are affected by autism? CBS 2 News takes you behind the headlines now, and according to the Centers for Disease Control, autism occurs in 1 out of every 300 births. In New York, that means as many as 4,000 children suffer from it, and it's 4 times more common in boys than in girls. But it equally affects all races, ethnicities, and social backgrounds. And if you'd like some more information on autism, you can log on to our website, cbsnewyork.com.
A history lesson. Do you know what happened on this date in 1920? The answer's next.
Also, they call her the Lance Armstrong of tennis. You'll meet the woman who's battled back from a deadly disease to face top seed Serena Williams tonight.
And no, it is not a scene out of Jaws. When we come back in 60 seconds, the catch of all catches. On this date, 82 years ago, women won the right to vote. The 19th Amendment was ratified on August 26, 1920. Women had waged a long fight, marching and demonstrating for voting rights. Their long effort gained speed when Susan B. Anthony got a member of Congress to introduce a proposed amendment to the Constitution. Now, some states already allowed women to vote, but when the amendment was ratified, all women could legally vote.
The CBS Evening News with Dan Rather's less than an hour away now, and John Roberts is in tonight for Dan. He joins us with more on the possibility of the U.S. waging war on Iraq. John?
Good afternoon to you, Michael. Tonight, Vice President Dick Cheney was forcefully making the case for an attack against Iraq today, as lawyers for the White House were arguing that the Bush administration does not need congressional approval for an assault to remove Saddam Hussein. We'll have complete coverage of those important developments. Also tonight, just the talk of war with Iraq has pushed up the price of crude oil by some 50%. So what's going to happen to gas prices if war really does break out? And we'll go to South Africa for an up-close look at the devastating effects of the AIDS virus, which now affects 1 person every 4 seconds in that country. All that and a lot more coming your way in the CBS Evening News at 6:30. See you then, Mike.
All right, John, thanks. We'll see you in about 45 minutes. Actor Jason Priestley is out of the hospital after his brush with death in a high-speed car chase. The former star of Beverly Hills 90210 is rehabbing now at a clinic in Indianapolis. The 32-year-old was hurt 2 weeks ago racing at the Kentucky Speedway. He broke a vertebrae and both of his feet when the race car he was driving spun out of control and he hit a wall. He is expected to make a full recovery.
A show of strength and grace at the U.S. Open as a top tennis star conquers her toughest challenge off the court. Karina Moraru was one of the best in women's tennis. In 1999, she won the doubles title in Wimbledon and the Australian mixed doubles last year. Well, last May, she was diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia that is sometimes deadly. Well, tennis took a back seat while she underwent treatment.
I was so critically ill that I didn't care about playing tennis again. I just wanted to live. And so, tennis was the first thing from my mind.
With the leukemia in remission, Karina's back, returning to the U.S. Open at center court tonight, and her opponent, the #1 seed, Serena Williams. But Karina's not worried. She says every match she plays, win or lose, is a blessing. And of course, we're going to have all the highlights on our newscast, and every day this week, our CBS 2 News at noon will come to you live from Flushing Meadows.
We certainly lucked out today when we were out there. Beautiful weather. It's time for another check of your forecast now from Weather Central.
Here's Janine.
Michael, today and tomorrow will certainly be the best days of the week. That's because they will be dry. We've got cloud cover and lower temperatures, so we're looking pretty good outside right now. Central Park, 82, almost exactly average for this time of the year. The skies are cloudy, but the question, will the clouds bring rain today? Absolutely not. It looks like dry night for the area, for everybody tonight. 77 now in Newton. It's dry but pretty cloudy in New York City and the 5 boroughs. low 80s for you. Yonkers and Westchester County, 76 degrees, and Long Island temperatures have been in the 70s. Same in Westport, Connecticut, not even hitting 80 degrees today. So here's the big picture, and this is what we're going to be watching a lot over the next couple of days. Low pressure right now over the Tennessee Valley is going to just slowly, and I mean slow, make its way up the coast over the next 5 days. That's right. This same weather feature is going to affect us all the way into the weekend. Right now you can see the rain showers are mainly off the Carolina coast, the Barrier Islands there, Cape Hatteras, and it looks like also the South Carolina coast, but the rainfall not making it into New Jersey yet. Take a look right now at Storm Tracker. It'll show you a closer view. Notice that as we look towards Princeton and Atlantic City, no rain yet. It looks like the rain will hold off until this time tomorrow, and that's when the rain will start creeping into southern Jersey first, then making its way up to Sandy Hook, then the 5 boroughs, also Long Island, and then Connecticut and the lower Hudson Valley. So back to the maps again. It's low pressure that we'll be watching as it spreads clouds in our direction and also rainfall. And as we put the maps into motion, here's exactly what we'll expect over the next 24, 36 hours. So as I mentioned, low pressure coming up the coast, the clouds eventually producing rainfall by Tuesday night, lasting into Wednesday. Now, if this timeline went all the way out through Saturday, you would see this exact same feature because we'll be forecasting rain all the way through Saturday. Tonight, though, we got cloudy skies, temperatures in the low 60s, upper 60s, a pretty comfortable night. Tomorrow will also be a great day to be at the U.S. Open. It'll be dry. Nanuet also 78 degrees and cloudy. Somerville, you'll be a little bit warmer and 80 degrees, but also cloudy. And then that rain arrives Tuesday night into Wednesday. And you know what? Also, there's been a lot of talk about the chance of thunderstorms also. It seems to me that thunderstorms will become more likely as we head into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The rain we get Tuesday night and Wednesday will mostly be kind of a gentle rain, the drizzly, light rain type of precip, the heavier stuff coming Thursday, Friday, and into at least half the weekend.
Oh, we need it, right?
Yeah, it'll be good. We'll close out the month of August with some good rainfall totals.
Thanks.
Thanks. Here's tonight's catch of the day. Check this out. Some fishermen on Block Island, Rhode Island, trapped an 11.5-foot-long mako shark. Weighs 705 pounds. No easy feat at all. The shark bit the line. Snap just went crazy, got away, and then the fishermen chased it for nearly an hour before finally gaffing it and hoisting it onto the boat. The shark is still 13 pounds shy of the all-time record for the largest mako shark.
Coming up at 6, this isn't something you see every day. Find out what a man is doing in this tank of water in the middle of Times Square.
And next at 5:30, the Harlem Little Leaguers have a day they will never forget.
I'm David Diaz. Well, they didn't win the Little League World Series, but you know what? You never know it from the reception that they got when they came home to Harlem today. I'll have that story coming up.
Kentucky is celebrating its Little League World Championship. Last night, 12-year-old pitcher Aaron Alvey hit a 250-foot home run in the first inning, leading Kentucky to a 1-0 win over Japan. Alvey also set Little League World Series records with 44 strikeouts and 21 scoreless innings. And he did it all with a sore shoulder, but says today he is feeling better than ever.
Well, they may not have won the Little League Championship, but the Harlem All-Stars are still Harlem's heroes, and for that matter, most of New York City's. CBS 2's David Diaz live in Harlem tonight, where there was quite a hero's welcome. David?
Yes, there was, and you know, their season is over. We're right outside their home field. And as you can see, the gate is locked. That's it. The season is over. They did not wind up with the top prize, which was an improbable thing to begin with for them, but this is a season that no matter how long they live, they will always remember. The kids and their mentors returned from their improbable odyssey as conquering heroes. True, they didn't win the Little League World Series. They were knocked out on a last-inning home run by a team from Massachusetts. But then again, even their coaches were just hoping they'd win their own district championship. So they, too, were overwhelmed by today's reception. Williams,
Thank you. Yeah, we did. Yes.
The team returned home to a community hungry for recognition of the positive strength in a neighborhood fighting to overcome years of neglect and abandonment. And their love and appreciation was not lost on these 11 and 12-year-olds who had overcome false allegations and negative perception. How does it make you feel to see this? The heroes do. Sentiments echoed by Andrew Diaz. whose home run in the last inning propelled the Harlem team to their last victory, and whose antics on the plate brought down a cascade of criticisms.
I feel proud because it feels like we won the Little League World Series, but we didn't because all these people is supporting us and giving us thanks for what we did to the city of Harlem. So I feel good about it.
And if the kids didn't visibly show their emotions today, their overjoyed parents did.
Oh, man, this is grandiose, stupendous.
He wasn't at a loss for words to describe what had happened to that team and for his son, one of those players. And, you know, community development is an interesting process. Harlem is a community on its way back, rebounding strongly. That, in turn, leads to positive things like the Little League getting to where it did. In turn, the Little League's success helps the community feel even better about itself and furthers the process of communities going forward. We're live in Harlem. David Diaz, CBS 2 News.
A lot of fun watching him play, too, David.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm Cindy Hsu.
I'm Michael Pomerantz in for Todd McDermott.
Here are Ernie Anastas and Mary Calvi in for Dana with a look at what's coming up on CBS 2 News at 6. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Cindy and Michael, thank you.
Straight ahead tonight at 6, disturbing pamphlets and distributing pamphlets in the mail. Parents in some towns are getting them. See why it has them worried about their kids.
2 construction workers died here on Friday. A work stoppage has been lifted, but all of the workers have decided not to work. I'm Whitney Casey in Midtown. I'll have more on the investigation coming up.
And we'll have the latest on the search for a roving band of vandals crisscrossing 3 communities.
CBS 2 News at 6, coming right up next.